Hi everybody, welcome back. It is August the 8th, 2017, right at 10:02 when I'm starting this, but I'm doing great. I've got my spirulina and chlorella smoothie, yum. So I'm just ready to go. Yeah, so this would be the Awakening Phase 2, Part 2. Yeah, so I actually would be sitting there watching my friend play Mass Effect. There was two games that I wanted him to play. I wanted him to play Mass Effect, and I wanted him to play Halo. And I just really enjoyed watching him play it. I mean, I didn't really want to play it because I didn't like the violence, but I liked the storyline. And I thought it was real. I mean, I thought it was just a real story. I mean, I knew it was a video game, but there's a couple of things that really kind of caught my attention in these video games. The first one was in Halo. I thought of something like in the movie Elysium, or in the actual game Halo, where it has this ring, and it was like a universe or like a portal somehow to this universe, or it was like a ring heaven or something. If you've seen the movie Elysium, you'll know what I mean. But yeah, it's like a halo in the sky, and I thought it was hidden. Heaven was hidden, and so that was the first thing. I was kind of like, that's weird. I didn't really say much about it, but I just watched him play that. And then in the Mass Effect game, the first thing was, because he started it at the beginning, and so when he picked the Commander Shepard, which, my mother's last name was Shepard. And so that was pretty cool. And then the lady had the Commander Shepard, when you choose the female, is with red hair and green eyes, and then she's got a messed up eyebrow. Now I know you can't really see my eyebrows, but one of them, this one right here, is that's got a cowlick in it, and my dad used to actually call me Beetlebrow, but yeah, anyway, so it grows normal right here, and then on this part it goes straight up. So I thought that was strange, and I'm gonna try to find a picture of that and post a link to that picture that I found on Google, because she's got a messed up eyebrow and her name is Shepard. And in the storyline, like, she had been dead for 2 years and they brought her back. So if you watched the video I posted last night, I thought, I kept asking, when did I die? I died, I'm dead. What's going on? How am I here? This is weird. And then here I am watching this game of this woman that looked like me, with the same last name as my mother, and with a weird eyebrow, and she had been dead and came back, and I was just like, weird. So I know how that sounds all grandiose and everything, but when you're in that kind of state of mind, I mean, these things really stick out to you. And not only that, but also in that game, the Mass Effect game, I kept looking at the characters on the screen, and their eyes would flash red when they would be talking, and I kept noticing that, and I was like, wait a minute, are y'all noticing that, or are you noticing that their eyes are flashing red? And yeah, and nobody else seemed to be noticing it, but it was just really strange, and it was almost like they were communicating to me. So when they would be talking, it was just secret code language or something. Yeah, so that was strange. I think that was it about the, and that it also had in the game a club called Afterlife, and so I was like, that's odd, that's cool. But yeah, so there was that. I just watched him play forever, and that was just kind of when things started to get a little hairy there. But yeah, so yeah, and if you watched my other videos, the phase 1 of this is actually, I did mention that I was looking in the TV, and I would see stuff in the TV, and it was just like it was on. I mean, and to me, I just kept looking, and I noticed that it looked like the Twin Towers, and then there was the Twin Towers, and there was smoke rising up. And it looked like, okay, I thought that I had to keep my consciousness up here, because if I was focusing on something else, or somehow if my consciousness got down in the smoke, that the souls would not find their way to heaven. Something about their souls trying to escape that smoke and find their way into heaven. So that was in the first time before I went to the hospital. In the beginning. But yeah, going back to that, I kept thinking about the souls there, and that they were trying to find their way, and I thought that the entrance to paradise, let's call it paradise, was hidden. Okay, so hold on. Okay, and if you haven't watched the other videos, then I would suggest going back and watching some of those, because, just somebody coming in that doesn't know a thing about me, hearing me talking about flashing red eyes and Commander Shepard, this and that, I know how I get it. I know how that sounds. So, yeah, this is kind of in deep with all of this and where I am at in my story. So if it doesn't make sense to you, maybe it will. Maybe something that I say, in the other videos will make it kind of click, or I don't know. But you're welcome to keep watching. But yeah, I know how it sounds to like somebody who hasn't had any experience with anything like this. I have dogs trying to jump on me. But okay, so there were, and this was over a period of 2 weeks after I got out of the hospital in June. I think it was June. I got out of the hospital. I was out of the hospital, and then this had actually started up in October again, and it was in October, and it lasted for 2 weeks. So this is probably about the second week here. But they were putting together this ab machine, this thing where you hop on it and you're holding on with your arms like this, and you're lifting your legs, and it was this ab machine, and it was big and metal, and they had to take it out of the box, and they were putting it together, and they were banging on it. It was really loud, and for some reason, and I have metal in my wrist from having my wrist broken. Whole other story. I'm not going to go into that, but yeah, they were putting that together, and as they were banging on it, I got this weird feeling like they were reinforcing me with metal. And now where that thought come from, it could have to do with this. Yeah, I don't really know. But yeah, I thought they were reinforcing me with metal. They were clank, 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 and I was like, wow, I'm going to be really strong after that. You won't break my bones now because I'm reinforced with metal. So, yeah, anyway, so back to the thing with the souls and finding their way to heaven. I was like, okay, I've got to help these souls. They're lost, they're whatever, and if you actually, and I'll post a link to this page as well. Yeah, if you've ever heard of Barbara Marciniak, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but she is the one of the channels. I'm not going to say she's the only channel. I don't really know, but she is a channel for the Pleiadians. And I have been I've listened to, probably, her videos are really long. And so I do have patience for that. I will watch or listen to those videos. I have actually listened to a lot. I've listened to like 4 whole videos, and they're like 2 hours long. But one of them in particular, and I can't remember which one it was, but she actually did mention that about the souls in 9/11 looking for heaven and not knowing where they were. And so this was recently that I heard that, and when I heard her say it, I'm just like connecting the dots here, like, and that's just a dot connected for me. I'm like, wow, how was that thought in my mind when I had no idea that anything? I didn't give a second thought about a soul. I just thought, it would be something that carries me around when I die, carries me. I have no idea, but it's just interesting how some of those, those dots can be connected. And I'll post a link to her YouTube channel or something. But and then there are other things that there was tools in this garage, and so I'd be in the garage, and there was this one tool in particular. It was a metal tool, and it was just hung up on the garage wall, and I just was looking at it and staring at it, and it looked like some kind of strange sea creature. I don't know how else to describe it. It was kind of rectangular, and it was blue, and I thought it was a sea creature. I'm just like, oh, cool, okay, sea creature. Yeah, so I don't want this to be 25 minutes like the first ones, but yeah, I was just definitely seeing things. This one was a lot more visual. There was in my friend's garage also, on the ceiling, they had a party over there for Halloween one year, a few years ago, and they had taken some black paper and just got splattered paint, different colors of paint all over it, and it was all over the ceiling. Well, I thought that this was a universe. I thought that this, and I would just watch it. It was so strange, and I thought that it was like this colorful universe, and somehow I was traveling through it. It was just all kinds of strange foreign thoughts. And I say foreign, but they were in my head. And this time I was actually a lot less afraid than I was the first time, that all of these symptoms, and I say symptoms for a lack of a better word. I don't really know what else to call it. I know that's what the medical profession would call it. Oh, symptoms, you're delusional, this and that. But when I say symptoms, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean it because I don't really know what else to say. It's just what happened to me. But yeah, I've heard of a couple of books that I'd like to check out, and I probably will eventually, but I kind of overloaded myself with the research and everything, and I'm just kind of trying to come down off of that and just process everything, because one thing I've noticed, I have learned for sure, is that knowledge without comprehension can be very dangerous. If you learn something, you read something, that knowledge, and it doesn't click, you don't get it, you will be probably very scared and confused. And that's pretty much what I had done. But there's a book, 2 books actually, Species with Amnesia and Gods with Amnesia. And so I think that, and I've actually heard somewhere out there, I read actually, that there are, these ascended masters, what you call ascended masters, that are working 9-to-5 desk jobs. They have no idea who they are. We don't know who we are. I don't know who I am. So who are you? Who am I? I mean, who are we really? I know that our souls have names, and I think it'd be interesting to, if everybody thought about stuff like that more. But anyway, I could just kind of go on and on rambling about all this stuff forever, but I appreciate you listening. Yeah, and I will make videos that do kind of connect some of these dots later on. I'm not going to go into that now. But yeah, one of the funny little things that I'd like to mention is that my middle name is Anne. And the thing with the reinforcing the metal, that just makes me think of the word android. So I don't know, android. So just think about that for a minute. So anyway, okay. I hope you all are enjoying this information or getting some kind of use out of it. And once again, if you know somebody that is going through something like this or has gone through something like that and they feel lost, confused, just send them my way, and maybe maybe we can connect, and maybe they're part of my tribe or something. So find your tribe. All right, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.